Taurus. 12 opportunities that show up when you trust the process. If you are a Taurus who has spent a lifetime trying to control every outcome, this message might feel like it was written specifically for you. Because trusting the process, truly trusting it, not just saying the words but living them, is one of the hardest things your sign will ever do. And yet, it is also the doorway to opportunities you cannot even imagine from where you are standing right now. Today, we are going to walk through 12 opportunities that begin to appear the moment you release your grip and let life move through you instead of being directed by you. Opportunity 1. The first opportunity that appears when you trust the process is the chance to receive help you never knew was available. Taurus has a deeply ingrained habit of doing everything alone. You are self-sufficient to a fault, and while that independence has served you in countless ways, it has also blinded you to the network of support that surrounds you. When you are busy controlling every detail, you send a very clear signal to the universe and to the people around you. I do not need you. I have this handled. And so the help that would naturally flow toward you gets redirected, because you have made it clear that your fortress has no doors. But the moment you begin to trust the process, something remarkable happens. You stop trying to manage every outcome, and in that softening, you become visible to the people and circumstances that want to support you. A friend offers exactly the advice you need at exactly the right moment. A resource appears that you did not know existed. A stranger says something in passing that unlocks a problem you have been wrestling with for months. These are not coincidences. They are the natural result of being open instead of armored. When you trust the process, you allow life to participate in your journey, and life is a far more creative problem solver than any single person, no matter how capable. The help was always there. You were simply too busy controlling everything to see it. Let go just a little and watch how the world rushes in to fill the space with exactly what you need. Opportunity 2. The second opportunity is the discovery of paths you could never have planned. Taurus plans. You plan carefully, methodically, with an attention to detail that borders on obsessive. And your plans are usually good. They are practical, well-considered, and designed with the kind of long-term thinking that most people lack. But here is the limitation of even the best plans. They can only account for what you already know. They cannot include possibilities you have never imagined, connections you have never made, or outcomes you have never considered. When you trust the process, you open yourself to the vast territory of the unknown, and that territory is where the most extraordinary opportunities live. Think about the best things that have happened in your life. How many of them were planned? How many of them arrived on the path you had carefully mapped out? If you are being honest, the answer is probably very few. The job you love came from a chance conversation. The relationship that changed your life started in a place you almost did not go. The insight that transformed your thinking arrived during a moment of distraction, not concentration. These were gifts from the process, from the unpredictable flow of life that operates on a logic far more sophisticated than anything you could design. Trusting the process does not mean abandoning your plans. It means holding them lightly enough that when something better appears, you can recognize it and respond. It means understanding that your plan is a starting point, not a prison. And it means having the humility to admit that the universe might know something you do not. Opportunity 3. The third opportunity is a deeper, more authentic relationship with time. Taurus has a complicated relationship with time. On one hand, you are the most patient sign in the zodiac, willing to wait years for something you believe in. On the other hand, you are constantly trying to control time, rushing when you feel behind, hoarding when you feel afraid, measuring your life against a timeline that may not be yours. When you trust the process, your relationship with time transforms. You stop competing with it and start collaborating with it. You begin to understand that everything in your life has arrived at exactly the right moment, even when that moment felt too late or too early from your limited perspective. The relationship that ended too soon taught you something you needed to learn before the next one could begin. The career that started late allowed you to bring a maturity to it that would have been impossible in your 20s. The dream that took decades to unfold was building foundations you could not see. This understanding does not come from logic. It comes from looking back at your life with honest eyes and noticing that the timing, even when it frustrated you, was always precise. Not convenient, not comfortable, but precise. When you trust the process, you release the tyranny of the timeline and enter a more fluid relationship with time where everything arrives when it is meant to, and your only job is to be present enough to receive it. Opportunity 4. The fourth opportunity is freedom from the exhaustion of constant vigilance. Controlling everything is tiring. Not just mentally tiring, but physically, emotionally, and spiritually draining in ways that accumulate over years and decades until you are running on fumes and calling it strength. You have been standing guard over your life for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to put down the watch. You scan for threats. You anticipate problems. You prepare contingency plans for contingency plans. And while some of this is prudent, much of it is excessive, driven not by wisdom but by fear. When you trust the process, you give yourself permission to rest from that vigilance. Not because the world has become safe, but because you have recognized that your constant monitoring does not actually make it safer. Bad things happen regardless of how carefully you watch for them. Good things happen regardless of whether you planned for them. And the energy you spend trying to prevent the unpredictable could be spent so much more wisely on enjoying what is already here. Imagine waking up tomorrow without the weight of anticipation pressing on your chest. Imagine moving through your day without the constant mental calculations of what could go wrong. Imagine trusting, even for an hour, that things are unfolding as they should, and that your only job is to show up with an open heart. That is not naive. That is not irresponsible. That is the freedom that comes from trusting a process that has been carrying you your entire life, even when you did not notice. Opportunity 5. The fifth opportunity is the chance to surprise yourself. When you control everything, your life becomes predictable, and while predictability feels safe to Taurus, it also becomes stale over time. You know what you will say in every situation. You know how you will respond to every challenge. You know what you are capable of because you have been doing the same things in the same ways for so long that your own potential has become a known quantity. But when you trust the process and allow yourself to step into unfamiliar territory, you discover capacities you did not know you had. You find reserves of courage that were never tested because you never put yourself in a position that required them. You uncover creative abilities that were dormant because your life never demanded them. You experience emotions you had forgotten you could feel because your carefully controlled existence had no room for them. Surprising yourself is one of the great joys of being alive, and it is available to you at any age, in any circumstance, if you are willing to let go of the need to know exactly what will happen next. Trust the process, and it will show you parts of yourself that have been waiting your entire life to be discovered. Parts that are braver than you think, more creative than you imagine, and more resilient than you have ever been given the chance to prove. You are not a finished product. You are an ongoing revelation, and the most exciting chapters are the ones you did not plan. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Opportunity 6. The sixth opportunity is the healing of relationships damaged by your need for control. If you are honest with yourself, you know that your stubbornness and your need to manage everything have cost you connections. Friends who grew tired of always doing things your way. Partners who felt suffocated by your inability to let them take the lead. Children who stopped sharing their lives with you because every conversation turned into unsolicited advice. These losses haunt you even if you would never admit it. But trusting the process opens the door to repair. When you soften your grip on how things should be, the people around you begin to relax. They feel safer around you because you are no longer trying to control their choices. They open up more because they sense that you are listening rather than waiting to correct them. They move closer because the walls you built around your way of doing things have begun to lower. This does not mean every damaged relationship can be restored. Some bridges have burned completely, and no amount of trust will rebuild them. But many of your connections are not destroyed. They are simply strained. And strain can be relieved when the source of the tension changes. You are the source. Not because you are a bad person, but because your need for control created pressure that pushed people away. Releasing that pressure, trusting that the people you love are capable of making their own decisions, is one of the most loving things you have ever done. Opportunity 7. The seventh opportunity is a more genuine spiritual life. Many Taurus souls describe themselves as spiritual, but their spirituality is often filtered through the same need for control that governs the rest of their lives. They pray for specific outcomes. They meditate with goals. They approach the divine as a negotiation rather than a surrender. And while there is nothing wrong with having preferences and desires, a spiritual life built on control is missing its most essential ingredient: trust. When you truly trust the process, your spiritual life deepens in ways that logic cannot explain. You begin to sense a presence and intelligence, a guiding force that is not you but is not separate from you either. You start to notice patterns and synchronicities that feel too precise to be random. You develop an inner knowing, a gut sense of rightness, that does not come from analysis but from something much deeper. This is the spiritual life that Taurus was always meant to have. Earthy, embodied, connected to the physical world, but also aware of the invisible forces that move through it. It is a spirituality that does not require you to leave your body or transcend the material world. It asks only that you trust that the material world is itself sacred, that the process of living is itself divine, and that your only job is to participate fully in whatever each moment brings. That trust is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual, between what you can see and what you can only feel. And crossing that bridge changes everything about how you experience your life and your place in it. Opportunity 8. The eighth opportunity is the ability to enjoy the present moment without being held hostage by the future. Taurus spends an extraordinary amount of time thinking about the future, planning for it, worrying about it, preparing for every possible scenario it might contain. And while preparation is valuable, there is a point at which it crosses over into obsession, and obsession steals the present moment right from under you. When you trust the process, you release the future from your constant surveillance. Not because you stop caring about what comes next, but because you understand that the future is shaped far more by what you do right now than by how much you worry about it. The meal in front of you tastes better when you are actually tasting it instead of mentally reviewing your to-do list. The conversation you are having becomes richer when you are fully present instead of half listening while planning your response. The sunset you are watching becomes breathtaking when you stop calculating how many more sunsets you might have left. The present moment is the only thing that is actually real. The past exists only in memory. The future exists only in imagination. But this moment, right here, right now, with all its imperfections and all its beauty, is the only moment you can touch, taste, feel, and live. Trusting the process means trusting that the future will take care of itself if you take care of this moment. And this moment, when given your full attention, is always enough. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Opportunity 9. The ninth opportunity is the discovery that uncertainty can be exciting rather than terrifying. This is a radical shift for Taurus, because uncertainty has always been the enemy. The unknown is where danger lives, where losses hide, where the carefully constructed world you have built could be threatened by forces beyond your control. And so you have spent your life trying to eliminate uncertainty, to nail down every variable, to reduce the unknown to the known. But what if uncertainty is not the enemy? What if it is actually the space where the most interesting things in life happen? Think about it. Every good book you have ever read was engaging because you did not know what happened next. Every meaningful relationship in your life began with the uncertainty of whether the other person felt the same way. Every adventure worth remembering started with a moment of not knowing how things would turn out. Uncertainty is not the absence of safety, it is the presence of possibility. And when you begin to see it that way, something inside you starts to shift. The tightness in your chest when you face the unknown begins to feel less like panic and more like anticipation. The discomfort of not having all the answers begins to feel less like vulnerability and more like freedom. This does not happen overnight. You do not go from fearing uncertainty to embracing it in a single moment. But with practice, with trust, with the gradual recognition that uncertainty has been present in every good thing that has ever happened to you, the relationship changes. You stop running from the unknown and start walking toward it with curiosity, with openness, and with the quiet confidence that whatever you find there, you can handle it. Opportunity 10. The 10th opportunity is the chance to model trust for the people who look up to you. Whether you realize it or not, people watch you. Your children, your grandchildren, your friends, your neighbors, the younger people in your life who see your steadiness and draw strength from it. They are paying attention to how you navigate the world, and what you model matters more than what you say. When you spend your life in a posture of control, The message you send to those who watch you is that the world is dangerous, that nothing can be trusted, that safety comes only from constant vigilance. But when you begin to trust the process, you send a different message entirely. You show them that it is possible to be grounded and open at the same time. You demonstrate that strength does not require rigidity. You prove that a person can face the unknown with grace instead of fear. This is perhaps the most generous thing you can offer the people you love. Not advice, not money, not practical help, but the living example of a Taurus who has learned to trust. Because trust is contagious. When one person in a family or a community begins to hold life more loosely, the people around them feel the permission to do the same. The atmosphere shifts. Conversations become more honest. Relationships become more relaxed. The collective grip on control loosens, and in its place grows a garden of possibility that benefits everyone. Opportunity 11. The 11th opportunity is a renewed sense of purpose that comes not from doing but from being. Taurus has always found purpose in productivity. You feel most alive when you are building something, creating something, accomplishing something tangible. And that drive has produced remarkable results over the course of your life. But there comes a point when the doing starts to feel hollow, when the achievements start to ring empty, when the question "what am I doing" has been answered so many times that the real question becomes "who am I being?" Trusting the process opens the door to this deeper question. When you stop measuring your worth by what you produce, you discover a sense of purpose that is not attached to outcomes. You realize that your presence in a room changes the atmosphere, that your steadiness calms people who are anxious, that your patience teaches people who are rushed, that who you are, at your core, is already contributing to the world in ways that no achievement could ever match. This is the purpose that trusting the process reveals. The understanding that your being matters as much as your doing. That sitting quietly with a friend who is grieving is as valuable as any project you have ever completed. That listening without judgment is as productive as any day at work. That simply being you, fully and authentically, is enough to make a difference in the lives of the people who know you. Opportunity 12. The 12th and final opportunity is the most profound of all. The chance to experience peace. Not the temporary peace that comes from having everything under control, which is really just the absence of anxiety dressed up in calmer clothing, but the deep, abiding, unshakable peace that comes from knowing, truly knowing, that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This peace does not depend on circumstances. It does not require that your bank account be full, your health be perfect, or your relationships be without conflict. It exists beneath all of that, beneath the surface turbulence of daily life, in a place so deep that nothing external can reach it. Trusting the process is the key to that place. When you release your grip on how things should be and accept how things are, when you stop fighting the current and start flowing with it, when you surrender the illusion of control and embrace the reality of trust, that is when peace arrives. Not as a reward for good behavior, but as the natural state of a mind that has finally stopped struggling. This peace has been waiting for you your entire life. It was there during every storm you weathered, every crisis you managed, every sleepless night you endured. It was beneath all of it, patient as only something eternal can be, waiting for you to stop fighting long enough to feel it. And now here it is, available, present, yours for the taking. All it asks is that you trust. These 12 opportunities are not fantasies. They are not wishful thinking or spiritual platitudes designed to sound good but mean nothing. They are real, tangible experienced results of a simple but profound shift. The shift from control to trust. And that shift is available to you right now, in this very moment, regardless of how long you have been holding on, regardless of how tightly you have gripped, regardless of how deep your fear of letting go has been. The process is trustworthy. It has carried you this far, through every triumph and every tragedy, through every gain and every loss, through decades of living that have made you who you are today. And that person, the person you are right now, is someone worth trusting. So trust yourself to trust. Let go of the rope you have been clutching and discover that you were never falling. You were flying. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.